Alrighty guys, we're back for Mono Black Aggro, and this is a Bloomburrow standard brew. Let's briefly go over the deck list, then hop right into some ranked. We got a bit of an artifact theme going on in here. All 4 Gingerbrutes, 1 mana, 1/1 with haste, you can pay 1. Gingerbrute can't be blocked this turn, except by creatures with haste. Beautiful. Also has that food ability packed onto the bottom, which honestly could come in handy. Got a couple Sir Ginger, the Meal Ender as well. 2 mana, 3/1. It has trample, hexproof, and haste as long as an opponent controls a planeswalker, which honestly is not going to be unheard of. See a lot of Liliana. You know what I've been seeing a lot of recently as well? Jace is popping up everywhere, which is actually really interesting. Now also packed onto Sir Ginger, whenever another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Sir Ginger and scry 1. Okay. Also has that food ability packed on to the bottom, but it's a little bit different where instead of gaining 3, you actually gain life equal to its power. So very interesting. We have ways to generate food in here, like a couple Witch's Vanity acting as some early spot removal as well, where chapter 1 of this saga, you destroy a target creature an opponent controls with mana value 2 or less. Chapter 2, create a food token. Chapter 3, create a Wicked Roll token attached to target creature you control, which is actually just not half bad. It feels pretty good putting a Wicked Roll onto a Gingerbrute. You have a couple Savors as well. This is a 2 mana, instant speed. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, and you also get to create a food token. Actually really like this card, and I think it'll do the thing today. Up against mono red, it can do interesting things like against their Heartfire heroes and stuff like that. Like minus abilities is actually pretty good against cards like that. We have all 4. Feed the Cycle. This is a 2 mana instant speed. As an additional cost to cast this spell, forage or pay 1 black mana. So I would say at its very worst, it's a 3 mana destroy target creature or planeswalker spell at instant speed, which actually isn't that bad. And at its best, you're foraging, which to forage, you exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food. Got a lot of food packed in. But honestly, it's also not going to be unheard of to get a bunch of things in the grave too, as the opponents are constantly killing all of our little creatures. So, I don't know. I actually really like Feed the Cycle. It's actually our main spot removal at 4 of them, so I think it'll do the thing. Might as well finish going over the 2 mana cards. All 4, Deep-Cavern Bat. Have you guys seen this one yet? Oh, you have? Okay, let's skip it then. We have 4 Iridescent Vinelashers in here. Guys, call me crazy, but I'm also rocking 4 Fabled Passage specifically for the Vinelashers. So Offspring 2 is not terrible, man. There's actually going to be moments where you save this for your turn 3 based on what you have in hand. Play a different 1-drop, for example, like Evolved Sleeper. We have all 4 of these packed in too. Kind of feels like we don't see as much Evolved Sleeper as we should because it is a pretty good card, man. A lot of good abilities packed on here. And it grows as the game goes on too if you don't have anything else. So some turns you're literally going to take the entire turn just to buff the sleeper because it's actually pretty good to do that, right? So anyways, with the Iridescent Vinelasher, sometimes you're just going to play another 1-drop and then you're going to save this for your turn 3. Offspring, you get that Iridescent Vinelasher token. That's a 1/1. The landfall on this. Whenever a land you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to target opponent. We're not doing anything fancy with that damage. We're not like duplicating the damage or anything like that. It's just extra pings to the opponent's face, and that's the only reason it's in here. All 4 Fabled Passage, though. Is it really worth it just for the Vinelashers? Not just for the Vinelashers, right? I don't think it would be worth it if that was the only thing. But also, I'm kind of treating this as a way to thin out the deck list. And I hope that's okay, right? Here's the thing. If you don't have Fabled Passage, I wouldn't consider it, right? I would just say go up some swamps instead. You'll probably be fine and dandy. Additionally, guys, this is an older version of Fabled Passage. This is actually a rare reprint. Always keep an eye on that. When I post it in the description and over on the Aether Hubs as well, I will try to change this to the newest version of Fabled Passage, but you never know, I might forget, and at some point I'm going to stop bringing that up too. So okay, what else do we got packed in, guys? Onward to the 3-drop spot. We have a couple Gumdrop Poisoners, and that instant speed tempt with Treat's Adventure is not terrible. There's going to be moments where you play that out happily, get a food token, and that food token can help you forage for like Feed the Cycle and stuff like that. All these food tokens is actually just great life gain too when it does come to come time to actually play the Poisoner out, it has that ETB ability where up to one target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. Also pairs beautifully with itself since it also has a lifelink too. Actually just really like this card. Got a couple Preacher of the Schism, powerful 3-drop. We got 3 Gix, Yawgmoth Praetors. Yes, powerful 3-drop. It's also pretty much the only way for us to restock our hand in here, right? So I think that's going to be a beautiful, as we know, it pairs really nicely with the Deep-Cavern Bat on 2. And the top end already, we have a Sheoldred. Yeah. Got a couple of Bloodletter of Aclazotz too, because I called it aggro for a reason. And so there's going to be moments where you curve out nicely and you play a Sheoldred. But it's not as aggressive as curving out nicely and playing a Bloodletter of Aclazotz, you know what I mean? Also in the mana base, guys, we do have a Demolition Field too. This is actually another way, or another land that pairs nicely with the landfall ability on the Vinelasher, and there's actually a lot of lands that we wouldn't mind hitting with the Demolition Field. Also have a Mudflat Village too, because it has that bottom ability for 1 and a black. You can tap it, sack it, return target bat, lizard, rat, or squirrel card from your graveyard to your hand. So what can we hit with it? Well, we can return Deep-Cavern Bat. That is a card, and Vinelasher is also a lizard that we can return with it as well, which is actually pretty darn good. I think it'll actually be worth the 1 of in here. Okay, guys. Honorable mentions. Lord Skitter, definitely something to consider, and it's a rat that would also work with the Mudflat Village, so honorable mention for a very good reason. When we play with Bloodletter of Aclazotz, it's very tempting to play the Rush the Dead combo with it too. But again, I didn't call it mono black mid-range. I really wanted to try for the aggro side of things here. So where Rush of the Dead has that bottom ability, this bottom spree cost +2, target opponent loses half their life rounded up, and then that combos with the Bloodletter. I mean, honestly, maybe we should have squeezed at least one of these in here just to at least have the combo sometimes, but I don't know. I don't know if it would be worth it in this particular version of mono black. Okay, guys, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? I don't know. I think it's going to be good. But honestly, dude, I've been getting absolutely obliterated recently, so I don't know. We'll see. See what happens. I like this hand. I know that much. Opponent goes first. We're keeping this. Fabled Passage. Hey, there's that. There's that new version of Fabled Passage. Oh, looking so fancy. I don't mind the swamp. Let's get that swing with the Gingerbrute. Yeah, guys, always keep your eye on Sir Ginger. Depending on what the meta's bringing, I don't know. I just really like this card. And I really do see a lot of Planeswalkers, a lot of Lilianas, and a lot of Jaces recently. All right, opponent, let me take a look-see at your hand before I swing with that Brute. Tectonic Hazard is an absolute menace. We got some mono red burn over there, guys. It's got to be the Hazard, because at the very least, yeah, it's the Hazard. Yeah, if we grab anything else, they 2-for-1 us. They go level 3 talent. We should be scared. We really should be. It's Deep-Cavern Bat again, right? It's Boros colors, by the way, from the opponent. Talent. 2 damage to target creature. If a gift was promised, 3 damage to its controller. Probably... It don't really matter, right? They get to pop off regardless since they have 2 pieces of spot removal. So I guess the Lightning Strike. And we will go for... Oh. Oh, we're in danger. I don't even know if it's worth playing the other Gingerbrute, guys. I think we just swing. Yeah, this Tectonic Hazard under this bat is the danger. So if we played Gingerbrute, we would have got 1 through, but lost 4 cards. The Blooming Blast. Yeah, with that level of burn, maybe... I don't know. I don't know exactly how we want to get through here. They do gift us the treasure, which is very kind. Thank you. The opponent's deck list looks really fun, and also like successfully boosting the talent to level 2. Yeah. That looks fun, opponent. They have Lightning Strike open. We don't know what this card is. Case of the Crimson Pulse. That's right, it's only 2 mana because of the talent on the board. I just looked at the talent and already forgot that the case was also just the 2. Blooming Blast was the discard there. Okay, guys, we're in trouble, but what do I do? Sir Ginger pairs nicely with the treasure that they gave us. I guess we play everything out. See, they don't have a Planeswalker, so that doesn't have haste. We'll keep Feed the Cycle available. We do have 3 cards in the grave for the Forage. And I guess we see what happens. If it's like Tectonic Hazard, we can pop the treasure either way and get the Ginger above the 1 damage. I don't know if that's going to matter too much, guys. I feel like I shouldn't have played that second bat yet. I feel like that was a mistake. A little bit of patience with that. Let them get some burn out of their hand first. Maybe. Okay, they trade out with the talent. They go level 3 on the talent. Wow. I think that's all. Yeah. There's nothing we want to do right now. Uh-oh. Fabled Passage. Well, we definitely go for thinning the deck list, for sure. For sure. Oh, another thing Fabled Passage does, guys, that I didn't mention at the beginning here, is it actually adds cards to the grave for the forage cost on the Feed the Cycle. I kind of overlooked that, honestly, but... I'm just gonna, like, pop the treasure. We have enough mana for a while. Let's get extra damage through. Evolved Sleeper's terrific when we have this much mana. I'm keeping that on top for sure. While we're floating that mana, we might as well use it for the Gingerbrute ability. No real reason, just showing that we can do it. On us down to 9, I still believe that we are in danger, bro. So let's see it, opponent. This is a Lightning Helix style build for sure. So life gain, right? Shocking, my Gingerbrute, you monster. No, that's my Sir Ginger, actually. I mean, they both have Ginger in the name, so... that's that. We could feed the cycle, forage our food, but we have nothing to hit with it is the problem. It doesn't look like the opponent's rocking creatures right now. At least it was a shock and not a helix, too. That's pretty important. Okay. I'm surprised they didn't power up Artist Talent to level 3. Oh, it is level 3 already. Oh. Dude, we might need to gain life here. They solved the case. We might need to gain life on this Gingerbrute for real. We might have to. I'm tempted by the card draw on the sleeper. Do we want to keep this specifically to gain life next turn? So, since it's solved at the beginning of their upkeep, they discard their hand, draw 2 cards. They're going to get 2. They can filter out with the talent. We're at 9. They're at 9. We have 5 mana available. It's not enough to get that all the way up yet. Can still keep Feed the Cycle. Really tough decisions, man. I think I'm going to keep the life gain on the Gingerbrute. And, just focus on the Evolved Sleeper. Alright, upkeep, discard hand, draw 2. They got 3 cards in hand. I think it was a good decision to keep this Gingerbrute for life gain. That is 3 damage to our face. They get to filter with the talent. Loving the opponent's deck list right now. Oh, it's 5 damage. Now they can play it. They get lifelink on that. Oh, I hope they miss. I hope they miss. They might miss. They might. All right, guys, let's do this. Evolved Sleeper. Yeah, the Artist Talent level 3. That's super scary. So we have Gingerbrute, but they would have killed us if they had it, right? So we just go feed the cycle, we forage. Heartflame Duelist, and we exile 3 from our grave. You is fine. Yeah, they would have killed us that turn if that's what they had for the turn. Lightning Helix? What? Opponent? No. So it was waiting until we tapped out. Okay. Hey, GG opponent. So what ended up happening there was they didn't want to, on the stack, have us gain life from the Gingerbrute. So I risked it, man. I risked it. So if it passed back to us... So I guess for the turn... Okay. For that turn, if we would have popped Gingerbrute at the end, on the stack they would have went burn, right? We would have died anyways. So the only way to survive would have been letting it pass back, waste the 2 mana, right? And that would have been completely fine. It passed back to us. Now we go feed the cycle on our turn with our 6 mana. And then if they tried that on the stack, we still had Gingerbrute open. So maybe we could have survived that one more turn. I mean, we would have survived our turn, right? And then their next turn, they discard their hand, draw 2, get their main draw. They have 3 more cards in hand. Dude, I think they had that regardless. So risking the feed the cycle, even though it wasn't worth it there, it was totally fine. Because I think that was going to be theirs. On that next turn anyways. Opponent goes first. I don't mind this hand at all. I'm keeping this. Warren Guard. That's a lot of mana. Gonna go turn 1 Vinelasher. We'll think about the Fabled Passage right away. We'll think about it. Burrow Guard. No swing. That's good news. Being feed the cycle open is not possible right now. It's probably just Fable. Let's thin the deck list. Grab a swamp. I'm not gonna bother keeping this open for no reason right now. I'm just gonna do it right now while we actually have Vinelasher on the board too. They can't do anything fancy on the stack. We'll create the food with the Poisoner. We pass it back. And this Mentor is probably going to be a big problem with that trample. So feed the cycle for that. It's going to be pretty good. Hop to it. Warren Guard is also going to get through successfully here as a 3-2. As I don't want to block with the Vinelasher just yet. We'll probably find a better chump. Hopefully. Right? Taking 8. That's a good 1, 2, 3. Really solid. Gingerbrute. So, of course, Bloodletter of Aclazotz is available next turn. So Gingerbrute for this turn. Probably keep it as an emergency blocker, which is a little awkward. We don't have the food ability. It doesn't have haste. Can't tap it down. Feed the cycle is going to be available either way, right? At 2, we can pop this food, because we still want to get extra creatures onto the board while we can. Let's see if they buff their bunny board state. If they have a buff for next turn, I think we're in danger. But if it's a board buff with a bunny, then at least we have the feed the cycle for it. All right, let's see. Let's see it, opponent. Oh, wait. Gingerbrute does have haste. Guys, what is happening? Hey, there's the board buff. Okay. Anyways, yeah, no, we could block with the Gingerbrute and sacrifice it. I don't know what my brain was thinking there at all. So we have some good blocks, probably, maybe. We could chump the 4-3. Well, we're kind of in danger anyways, huh? If we go here, at least we'll get a couple bunnies off the board. And then we go feed the cycle on the valley. Quest caller. Yeah, we're in danger either way. Losing the Gingerbrute here definitely sucks. We could also sacrifice Gingerbrute to the feed the cycle, but I was thinking more so get rid of these bunnies because that also makes the mentor a little bit weaker, right? So we forage. Quest caller. Forage you. So an answer there, right? One thing we could have done is Gingerbrute into the Warren Guard. And then opt the Gingerbrute to the feed the cycle. But there were... you couldn't have done it to the mentor because the trample would have gotten through anyways off the sacrifice. So that's something to watch out for sure. Gumdrop Poisoner could be a really good blocker. We're at 3. The Preacher of the Schism is probably a better blocker, but I'm pretty sure this mentor is going to get that excess trample damage through anyways. So maybe the life gain on the Gumdrop Poisoner is better for the turn. Nah, I'll go Preacher of the Schism. It's the same concept as last turn too. Like, I think we're in danger either way, so just kind of like going for what we think the best play would be if for some reason we survived. Look at this, guys. We might have stalled them for the turn. They got the mana for the Ace Archer though. Preacher of the Schism is coming in handy. Oh yeah, buddy. Let's do this. Yeah, we are forced to block, unfortunately. Oh. Yeah, we're forced to block the Warren Guard. So we are losing everything. They're losing the mentor. So it's still a really good turn for bunnies. Yep, we take out mentor while we can. And we are forced to block the Warren Guard since we're at 3. And now that Gumdrop Poisoner is probably looking pretty good. Hey, another Gumdrop Poisoner. Oh, it's too bad though. It's too bad we can't like take the turn, like, because I used that food earlier, right? Oh, wow. That's all something to consider, man. But first of all, getting rid of that extra bunny was essential for getting rid of the mentor that turn too. There's a lot to think about this game. There is. But being at 2, realistically, the only thing we can do is get this Poisoner on the board and hope that that life gain is enough. And then we do have food to create on this Poisoner. If we survive the turn, we pop the food from this Poisoner, and then we can take out the Ace Archer. Yeah, it depends what they play, though. If they have anything that buffs this board state, we are goners. Because we're only going back up to 5 from this life gain. Or, for that matter, if they have removal for the Poisoner. They are going up to 3, and then they're putting counters onto everything, but we block the 4-3, go up to 5 and take 4. Yeah. So, right. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Really good. Go back up to 1. Food token. Bloodletter of Aclazotz just chilling right now as we're trying to outpace a deck list that is very hard to outpace. So we're on the defense here, big time. Back up to 4. Pop the Ace Archer with the Gumdrop Poisoner. We got 2 cards in hand. We're still in danger, but we're in this, and like risking like a couple risky plays are the reason that we're in this. If they swing, we might just take it because we'll have a swing with Poisoner. We'll get the 3 back. Like, instead of trading, well, maybe we should trade. No, I'm gonna stick to the risky plays, man. Let's take this too. I'm gonna stick with it. Feed the cycle, not bad. So we could go Bloodletter, blocks well enough, swing, hit for 6, go back up to 5. Or again, yeah, let's stick with it. Stick with all the risky plays. Bloodletter, because what this does is it opens up an opportunity to win next turn if they're too greedy with their swings and stuff. So back up to 5, they're down to 10. And if they don't have a blocker or a way to get rid of Poisoner, then with Bloodletter, we do have lethal damage on this board, so a Pomp Patch recruit's pretty good. I think they might just take the turn. They're taking the turn for full setup here, guys. Mudflat Village. With Offspring on the recruit, the feed the cycle got a little bit worse. Any trade into the Poisoner. They don't know what's in hand. Maybe we start with the Deep-Cavern Bat, though. Let's peer into their hand before we take any risky swings, right? It's a land. We're going for it. Let's do it. Any block into the Poisoner's fine. We gain, they lose a creature. They still don't know what's in hand, so it's not a terrible trade for us. We feed the cycle open. We go back up to 8 here. Mudflat Village can grab our lizard if we want. I don't think we want that yet. We want to keep the feed the cycle open. Either way, we have 3 in the air and they're at 6. So they need to find some removal for these. Valley Quest Caller. Pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm pretty sure that because now whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability, so they full swing. We go feed the cycle and we're just going to pay the extra 1? Or do we forage? Mudflat. No, we just pay the extra 1. Hit the recruit. Now 2 counters go onto the other bunny. All we have to do is survive the turn without losing our Deep-Cavern Bat to a block, right? So they buff. We go no blocks. Take the 5 down to 3. And then we swing for 3 in the air. Beautiful stuff, man. Which happens to be 6 with the Bloodletter. What a match, dude. Holy cow. That was awesome. We just like risky play after risky play, and it all added up really fast as it just started leaning to our advantage with value cards coming onto the board. Gumdrop Poisoner. Wait, that's what the card's called, right? Why does that sound wrong? Gumdrop Poisoner. That's why I'm thinking like Bloodletter. I've been doing that a lot with cards, man. Like looking at Gingerbrute pretending it doesn't have haste and stuff. It's like, yeah, I guess there's just so many cards all the time. Anyways, Gumdrop Poisoner. We go first. Beautiful hand. Let's do this. Start with that sleeper. Because turn 2, we buff sleeper, get Gingerbrute down with haste. Oh yeah, let's do it. Establishing the Sir Ginger wouldn't have been bad too. I'm pretty sure this is a little bit of a better turn though. But yeah, establishing Sir Ginger would mean we'd have a 3-1 to start swinging with next turn. Yeah, maybe. Conduit Pylons. That's a desert. Up the beanstalk. All right. Time to show off the speed of the build, hopefully. Another Evolved Sleeper. We buff the first one. Maybe we just like dump our hand. It doesn't look like it's going to be a temporary lockdown. Let's dump our hand for the turn and hope that that's enough to avoid a 4th turn board wipe as well. It's risky, but boy, I had fun with the risky plays in the last game, so let's do this. Okay, everything's on the board. Let's see it. A Snarling Gorehound, Rubble Belt Maverick. This is simply not what I was expecting, guys. A bunch of chump blockers? Okay. Feed the cycle. Okay, I don't think they care too much if we pop one of their creatures. This is not what I was expecting. Like, up the beanstalk in a desert with the pylons? Dude, I thought we were up against control for sure. They got great blocks into Sir Ginger, of course, right? Let's go with unblockable Gingerbrute, right? Get that swing. Keep Sir Ginger around for now. It's just like their blocks are too good into it. It'd be a shame. It'd be a shame to lose that when there's an opportunity to potentially buff it too. Or gain life from it as well, I guess. The Maverick's graveyard ability is sorcery only. Go for the blocks. So we start by buffing this, making sure it doesn't die. And keep feed the cycle open for their turn. Or that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. That's the turn. We get one through. Their chump blockers are off the board. Feed the cycles open as well as one of the Evolved Sleepers abilities. Guys, I'm actually terrified because I dumped the hand onto the table because I thought we were up against some form of, like, control. Now I'm concerned. Yeah, the double chump blockers and everything. Really good for the opponent, actually, because I think they could do that exact thing again. Oh, okay. Okay. That's interesting. The up the beanstalk with the swarm. The menace, death touch 6/6. We're not too concerned right now because we're going to pop the Gingerbrute with the feed the cycle. But, like, we should be concerned at some point because this is our only piece of spot removal. Feed the cycle, pop the Gingerbrute. Sir Ginger gets the boost. Don't need the land. We send that. Wait. 1, 2. Yes, we don't need the land because if we do both Evolved Sleepers, those will both be 3/3s. Vinelasher could be interesting. Swing. We go for it, man. We go for it. Yep. 10 damage. Opponent's down to 3. Vinelasher is good, but not if they start gaining life. Pylon, Surveil. It's cool, actually. That's a really, it's just a common. They got the Surveil land in there to plug stuff into the grave. Yeah, I like it. All right. Necromass. They draw on the up the beanstalk. Hollow Marauder. Holy cow. Each opponent who didn't discard a card with mana value 4 or greater. Draw a card. Look, I think we have to discard Sir Ginger because I think Vinelasher might be the best way to poke past their blockers, right? So I hope that's okay. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. Okay, I see. I got it. Okay. So they missed another chump blocker then. Yeah, we were wide enough on the ground, and the draw there on the Marauder, the concede was they were looking for a 1-drop to play with the Forest. It comes down, then they can full block, right, and survive the turn. And for our turn, it probably still would have been the full swing, as most things would have traded. The Necromass would have blocked the Sir Ginger, though, probably. A Vinelasher was going to come down with Offspring, however. Then, even if we got unlucky, saw a couple turns of land, which I think that would be unlucky at that point. Or maybe we would have seen it like a Fabled Passage or something, too. This is interesting, guys. This is this is interesting. Let's keep the ball rolling. Also, while I have you here, close to the end of the video, make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way, or joining either of those up. Also, with the YouTube nonsense, if you like the video, make sure you drop it a like. It does help the channel a ton. And then also, if you want to help the channel even more, and you like the channel, then consider subscribing as well. And also, thank you guys. Okay, we go first. I like this. I like how we're curving out, man. Good stuff. A little bit of a different version of mono black aggro. I mean, I'm not complaining right now. It seems all right. Before the swing, we go Deep-Cavern Bat. See what we can poke out of the opponent's hand here. Squirming Emergence, Jace, Virtue. Oh, Harvester of Misery. Hello. That's a problem. Luckily, it's 5 mana, but I don't know. I don't know if we can get there before that. A card to keep your eye on, guys. Harvester of Misery. I would love to be able to hit that 4th mana next turn. Alright, we swing. It's too bad that Preacher of the Schism wasn't Gix, because I'd love to start getting some card draw. Oh, they found something off the top. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, they don't have to find something off the top. Harvester of Misery's bottom ability is also pretty darn good, isn't it? I wasn't expecting that, actually. Preacher of the Schism is a good play for the turn, speaking of trying to start to get card advantage. Anyways, so it has Menace. It's a 5/4. When it enters, other creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. That's like all I was thinking of there. But it also has that bottom ability. 1 in a black. Discard this. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Yep. I can see why I'm starting to see this pop up more often. I like it. Okay, they go ahead and take out the other Gingerbrute guys. And they didn't even decide to go Virtue, which means they are going to be leaning towards the reanimation. Sir Ginger will be great against this Jace when it comes time. Alright, go for the swing. See what we see. Evolve Sleeper is pretty darn good, right? I'm going to play it. And then we're going to have Sleeper's ability open with the Gumdrop Poisoner adventure side. We might be in danger, though, honestly. We might be. If it is going to be Jace, they're going to be pretty surprised by this Sir Ginger, huh? It's going to be pretty fun. Then probably take the Preacher of the Schism out of the equation, or maybe they want to start milling themselves since they have Squirming Emergence in hand. Alright, so we'll activate this. Instead of holding the opponent up all turn. They're tapped out and they use their Planeswalker ability. Just getting that out of the way. Alright, Sir Ginger is not enough to get rid of the Jace, because the Jace is 6. Ew. Oh, Gingerbrute though. Okay. Okay. Sometimes it takes me an extra second to see what I drew for the turn. That's funny. Alright. Beautiful. Swing, swing, swing. You, Preacher of the Schism, -1 to the opponent's face. Get the Preacher of the Schism ability. Fabled Passage. Yeah, we probably want to do that. Do I care about seeing a 5th mana off the top? Maybe, because we might want to do Food and Gumdrop Poisoner on the same turn to pop whatever creature they end up playing. Yeah, they don't have the revive on the Harvester yet, luckily. Right? Squirming Emergence. Target non-land permanent card in your graveyard with mana value. Okay. Go Virtue of Persistence onto Sir Ginger. Guys, I think I might want to draw more mana, so I wait till our turn to pop the Fable, because we also might see like a Vinelasher that I wouldn't mind playing. And we don't have anything to do with 1 mana out there right now. Yeah, I think that's fine. And we do find more mana, actually, which I don't really mind. I'm okay with this. I think I might still keep the Fabled Passage around, honestly. Get the Bloodletter down. I hope they don't wipe our board. We'll be okay. We're fine, we're fine. We see more mana, actually. Okay, that's probably enough. We might want to thin the deck for next turn. With the Fabled Passage, right? Yeah, probably. Probably should have done it already, but I don't know. I was just kind of like looking at what we got and thinking like, I wouldn't mind more mana right now. Oh. Fabled Passage. Or Atraxa. I'm looking at my Fabled Passage and reading that instead of reading the Atraxa. Squirming Emergence for 4 on the Jace is actually really good, huh? Yeah, guys, I think we're just going to use our Fabled Passage now. Thin the deck, try to find even more, because we could find like a Gingerbrute and stuff too. Off the top. Or another Sir Ginger, because we do have 2 of those in here. They have a -2 on themselves. Squirming Emergence. Archaeologist. They probably need to draw into removal for the Bloodletter at this point then. I think they could easily have it too. Wail of the Forgotten. There you go. Oh, we can just play it again next turn though. Yeah, GG opponent. GG. Wow. So a few things for that game. Got pretty greedy with that Fabled Passage. Probably should have just popped that so we drew into less mana, but that's fine. It ended up working out beautifully actually. So about 41 minutes in. I think we're going to end on a high note, guys. I think that's totally fine. Because, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're past the 40-minute mark. It was a good time. Ending on a high note is always good too. Here's the deck list again. I like it. Nice little different version of mono black aggro. Can't be mad about it. I wonder what the next set is going to bring that could potentially change this up a little bit maybe. I don't know. Is there any food? Have you guys been keeping up with the new cards? I know I have to read through them again, see what all is coming out very soon. At the point that this video is going up, it's probably the new set is like a couple days away at that point. So I gotta read through the cards again, see what we're getting. Gix really didn't make an appearance today. I'd still think that the 3 of is definitely worthwhile. The Iridescent Vinelasher, like pairing with the Fabled Passage and everything, like Fabled Passage usually used for mana fixing, of course, right? You want to find the basic that you need to see. And just having it in here for Vinelasher is a little silly, but also then you're thinning out the deck list. That is actually pretty huge for a deck list like this. We do have 24 total mana, guys. And as you guys saw, like, sure, look, we're relatively low curve, going up above the 2 drops there. Average is 2.0. So could we get away with 23? Maybe. But I actually like the 24. And the main reason is because of that Vinelasher. But also, we just don't mind seeing a lot of mana off the top. Like, I guess at that point, don't be fooled by the low cost when we have a lot of things that we can do on any given turn. A Preacher of the Schism restocking our hand, Gix restocking our hand. A lot of moments where you might want 5 mana before dropping Poisoner, where you can pop the food and still play Poisoner as removal then. Keeping mana open for our food, right? Or keeping mana, or spending extra mana on like Gingerbrute, or spending extra mana on the Sleeper. And again, yeah, keeping extra mana, and sometimes our main spot removal is going to actually be 3 mana too. Just don't be fooled by the low cost is what I'm getting at. I think 24 makes a lot of sense, especially with the Vinelasher here. Fabled Passage is also a way to stock up our graveyard for the forage cost on the Feed the Cycle if we don't want to pop one of our foods. When we do have Sir Ginger on the board, popping our foods happens to be pretty darn good, right? That extra little boost. I actually like Sir Ginger so much in this build that I would consider 3. The problem is it is legendary. There are going to be moments where you only see your Sir Gingers and you're a little sad about that. And then sometimes the opponents aren't playing Planeswalkers too. The card does get a little weaker when it's like that, but it's also just like a super value card that happens to fit all the different themes in here too. We didn't get to put a Wicked Roll on our Gingerbrute. I'm sad about it, but that's okay. I'm going to keep the 2 Witch's Vanity in here as well. As a matter of fact, I do think that the deck list performed well enough to not change anything. I actually really liked it. Bloodletter of Aclazotz seems criminally underplayed outside of those combo deck lists, right? Like in the right build, this still really does the thing, especially when you're swinging wide or something. And this deck list does know how to go a little bit wide, whether it is with Preacher of the Schism or the Offspring on the Vinelasher, or you're swinging underneath your opponent's creatures with cards like Gingerbrute and stuff too. Yeah, I liked it. That's all I gotta say about that. I do like the Demolition Fields still too. I don't think it's going to hold you up, the fact that it taps for colorless, and there are going to be moments where you do need to take out one of the opponent's lands too, so... The one of Mudflat Village is totally fine as well. Again, there are going to be moments where you actually use that to grab a Deep-Cavern Bat or a Vinelasher back from the grave, and you'll be pretty happy when that does happen. So, again, with the Fabled Passage, I think I brought this up at the beginning of the video this time. This is an old version. Always keep an eye on the rare reprints, guys, because I definitely did not want to craft any of the new ones. So I'm sure if you guys have older versions too, then you're probably in the same boat with these rare reprints and stuff. So always keep an eye on that when I put it in the description. There's always a chance that I forget to change it to the newest version too. So yeah. All right, guys, enough rambling, huh? This was a good time. This was fun. We got to visit Mono Black Aggro more often because every time I do go back to Mono Black Aggro, it's always like, always good. I like it. And we can always like try like different things in it as well. Here's something to talk about actually real quick, right? Deep-Cavern Bat. It is a solid enough creature in and of itself to be plugged into a deck list like this, right? Especially when we're pairing the Gix on the third, because any flyer in the air and then curving into the Gix is really good, especially when that flyer has lifelink too. That being said, do you guys also think that it would be a little better if we were actually disrupting the opponent's hand a little bit more with more discard and stuff too? If we add more discard, we're taken away from the aggro side of things. If we drop the Deep-Cavern Bat just because we don't have other discard, then what on earth are we replacing the Deep-Cavern Bat with? You know what I mean? It's just such a value 2 drop. I thought I'd bring that up real quick. I want you guys' opinion on that. Okay, guys. Hey, I will see you in the next video.